Favorite heterosexual? What do I care? I'm an old fart from another country. I don't give a rat's ass. Anyway, we're talking about Donald Trump. Donald Trump's definition of bankrupt. Now, that's very different to, like, if you and I were to go bankrupt, it'd be a very different thing. Because when he went bankrupt, he wasn't sleeping on his buddy's couch until the unemployment check cleared. That's not... That's the dirty little secret about bankruptcy. If you owe the bank $100, that's your problem. If you owe them $100 million, it's their problem. See what I'm saying? That's what it is. If you owe lots and lots of money, the bank will take you out. They'll say, hey, have a seat. And listen, what are you having, the steak? Yes, let's do that. And now, let's have a little chat about how are things going with the money. If you're 3 payments behind on your mortgage, they'll cut you off and send you out in the street. Now, I know about this firsthand. It's true. About 13 and a half years ago, coincidentally, I was still drinking. I went completely broke. Completely broke. It took me 7 years to get out of debt. I've been out of debt now, like, nearly 6 years. It took me 7 years to get out of debt. I bought a house. At that time, I sold it for half its value. I don't recommend that. I'm not a real... A face you can trust. Actually, my debt situation, I remember, got so bad, and, because, you know, it's where you get them. And, the guy behind the counter, when I tried to give my credit card for the bottle of whiskey, he got on the phone to confirm the card, and he went, oh, okay. And he cut up my credit card in front of me. I know, that's when you really need whiskey, and when someone does that as well. Anyway, Donald Trump. I'm trying to talk about Donald Trump. Donald Trump. Now, he calls himself the Donald. The hell is that? What are you, Sting? Shut up. The Donald. Piss off. If I went back to Scotland and started calling myself the Craig, the guys from my neighbourhood would give me a good swift kick in the nuts, and I deserve it. I deserve it. Okay. I have to tell you, if I started calling myself the Craig, I'd give me a good kick in the nuts. Actually, if I could kick myself in the nuts, I'd join the circus. I'd make some money. And now, the nut-kicking man. And now, okay. Wait down. This week, Donald Trump is hosting, this is what got me onto this. I'm looking in the paper, and I saw that Donald Trump is hosting a Learning Annex seminar this week called One Weekend Can Make You a Millionaire, hosted by Donald Trump. Now, this is a guy who was born wealthy. How the hell does he know how to become a millionaire? I want to learn from a guy who built his own $1 million. If I want to learn how to fly, I take lessons from a pilot, not a guy who was born on an airplane. You know what I'm saying? It's not the way to do it. I tell you, here's a way to become a real millionaire in one weekend. Charge a bunch of people $500 to your bogus lecture. $500 a seat, 10,000 people, one lecture. A train leaves Chicago at 5 miles an hour. I don't know, you do the math. But anyway, that's what I'm saying. Trump is the guy. Remember, he tried to copyright the phrase, "You're fired." Remember that? He tried to say, "You're fired." Now listen, I'm not one to blow my own trumpet. Although, if I could do that, I would join the circus. But different circus. He kicks himself in the nuts. He blows his own trumpet. Yeah, masochist and contortionist. How about that? No, listen, I'm not one to blow my own trumpet, but when I played the boss on the Drew Carey show, I did that, right? I did it for about 8 years. I don't know, it's fine. Now, if you've ever seen that show, you know that on every episode of that show I said, "Carey, you're fired." I said, "You're fired?" Every damn time I walked out of that little office. "Mimi, you're fired. Carey, you're fired. The big tall one, you're fired. Everyone, you're fired." I called him the big tall one, and I worked him for 8 years. I worked with Ryan Stiles. I called him the big tall one. Anyway, the thing is, I said that line. I said, how can you copyright "you're fired"? You know, I mean, Drew Carey came up with that line, "you're fired," for Mr. Wick to say in the Drew Carey show. And I had heard the line, "you're fired," a couple of times before that, too. Round about the time they were cutting up my credit card. But Trump got all sorts of press for trying to, you know, copyright that phrase. So I'm going to do the same thing. Tonight, I'm going to copyright "naughty little donkeys," "frisky wee ponies," "cheeky wee monkeys," and I'm your host, TV's Craig Ferguson. Although,